Hello everyone, my name is Ishaan Jolly. I am a voice actor and Twitch streamer, and welcome to this video where I'm showcasing the best GOXLR settings and setup for the ElectroVoice RE20 microphone. I did a video just now on the Shure SM7B settings. Don't know how big the difference in the upload will be. Either I release them at the same time, or some people say don't release a billion videos at the same time, schedule them out, which is also a good idea. So I don't know how long it's going to take in between videos, but hey, let's go. So this is where I'm using the EQ, compression, de-essing. No de-essing is done right now. Maybe I should. This microphone seems to be a bit more sibilant than the SM7B. Okay, I just put a very small de-esser there. Okay, but hey, this is me using the settings right now, and in a second I will go straight back to default. And now I've got the microphone set straight back to default. So now I'm going to showcase what audio settings to use with the ElectroVoice RE20 and the GOXLR. So let's go. Right, so in mic setup, I set that to 50 decibels. I don't want to stay in that screen for too long because it makes my microphone actually quieter. I really don't know why it does that whenever setting up audio, but it makes the microphone quieter. Just make sure your audio level is in between low, medium, and then loud medium whenever you're speaking quietly. Whenever you're speaking quietly, make sure it's around here-ish. And then whenever you're speaking loudly, it's around here-ish. So yeah, there we go. Now gate setting, I'm just going to stick that at minus 53. Why minus 53 and not minus 50 or minus 55? Well, because that's 10%. It's annoying. It's like the TV volume. You want that set at a multiplication of 5. So 10% there. Minus 50 attenuation. Because I like to keep it more natural. The attenuation is how much the how much the volume goes down by when it goes below that threshold. I set it at 50% because that's just more natural. If you set it at 100%, that removes all the noise, all the audio below 53 decibels. And that can be kind of unnatural sounding at times. So I like 50%. Attack is how quickly the noise gate opens. Once the volume goes above the threshold, that's how quickly it opens. 10 milliseconds is very quick, and that's how you want it. You want it to be as fast as possible. You don't want it to open slowly, because then it'll cut off the beginnings of words, and that's annoying. Like, why would you want that? Why is that even an option? I don't know why it's an option to have a very big attack. Like, why is that an option? I don't know. Right, and the release is how long it takes for the noise gate to activate again once the volume goes below. I set it at 500 milliseconds. That's half a second of time after I finish speaking, or after the noise goes below that threshold, for the noise gate to activate again. Now, compression. I love compression. Compression is really good because it brings down the loudest parts and then brings up the quietest parts. So let me just show you my compression settings. I set the threshold to minus 20, and then the makeup gain to 10 decibels, because then when I'm whispering and speaking really quietly, then it's not too quiet and it still sounds loud. And then when I start shouting and screaming, the volume level isn't too different. And for a live stream, that's great, because if I start raging, then it doesn't blow anyone's eardrums out. And then when I start whispering, you can still hear me clearly. So what everything does, the threshold is where the compressor activates. Everything below this threshold isn't affected by the compressor. Everything above this threshold is being compressed. The ratio is how much something gets compressed by, right? So everything above 20 decibels gets divided by 4 in loudness, right? So say from minus 20 decibels, say if I'm speaking at a level of minus 10 decibels, that goes down to minus 17.5 because that 10 decibels in between minus 20 and minus 10 has been divided by 4. And then the makeup gain is then boosting that up again to bring that to minus 7.5 decibels. So it's louder than it was beginning, but then when I shout, say I'm shouting and I'm speaking at like minus 3, that difference, that 17 decibels from minus 20 to minus 3, gets divided by 4 and then boosted by 10 decibels. So then it is more consistent, and then it isn't ridiculously loud in comparison. So that's really nice. And then equalizer. For the Shure SM7B, I added a ton of high-end because the Shure SM7B is a very strong drop-off in the treble at about 15-16 kilohertz, so I boosted up to bring that clarity back in. Whereas with the ElectroVoice RE20, it doesn't have that, and it has less of the bass. So what I do, instead of cutting out, so I scoop of the sub bass this time, whereas on the SM7B I scooped out some of the mid bass, some of the sub bass. I'm getting my words mixed up today. I'm sorry. And then I boost up the 63 hertz by the same amount. The 63 hertz is where the rumble in my chest and the bottom of my throat lie, and I think that's quite a nice sound in my opinion. but don't boost it by too much. But yeah, that's the rumble and the warmth that comes from the bottom of my throat. And then the 125 hertz is where most of the bass in everyone's voice is. My voice is the bass in my voice is slightly lower, but that's just me. And then 250 hertz it can be a bit muddy, so I don't boost by too much. But I like having boosting everything by an increment of 2 and having it smooth. And then I don't cut the mid with this one because this microphone already has a mid cut, whereas the Shure SM7B doesn't really have a mid cut. This microphone already has it built in. So then instead of boosting it heavily, where I go 2, 4, 6 with the Shure SM7B, I go 2, 4, and then 2 for this microphone because now it's very symmetrical. 2, 4, 2. 242. I really like the way this looks. I like a good looking EQ. Like, I could get more into detail and move these up and down a bit more, and then it would look all janky. And I prefer to have a nice, smooth looking EQ. But that's just me. You can play around with these settings and just do whatever you want with them and make it sound the way you like. Because sub bass, that's where there's not really much human voice there. But if you cut this all out, then my voice sounds a bit thinner. So I don't like to do that. Especially on a microphone like this, the ElectroVoice RE20 has a variable D technology that removes proximity effect. Like the Shure SM7B has one of the strongest proximity effects on any microphone. This one has no proximity effect. So as I get really close to the microphone and as I get further away from the microphone, the bass response is the exact same. So I don't cut out any sub bass. I add in a bit of bass and then a bit of treble. And then compression. And this is kind of what you want for the microphone. And this sounds great, in my opinion. Maybe for this microphone does pick up on sibilance, like this, but only a very small bit of sibilance. Like a microphone like my TLM 103 has a very, very broad boost in the treble frequencies, so it all kind of just merges together in a very strong presence boost. Whereas this microphone, it seems to only be boosting one part of the sibilance. And it's kind of interesting how it does that, and I don't know why, and it's kind of annoying, but it's not too big a deal, so maybe just set the De-Esser at about 10 to get rid of that sibilance. Yeah, that's got rid of the sibilance for sure. It's a bit too much in my ears, in my headphones, so maybe I'll turn that down to 7 or so. This sounds good, yeah. This sounds good at taking care of that sibilance, and honestly, these microphone settings are legitimately perfect. Well, yeah, perfect is an overstatement because nothing can ever be perfect for everyone. This is a very, very good starting point, and it's just perfectly fine to use for live streams and radio and all that sort of stuff. And this should be great. So guys, before I end, please do follow me over at twitch.tv/JollyLegend to hang out, talk with me, and ask me anything you want. I love talking about microphones and audio gear, and just feel free to drop in and just chat to me about that whenever you wish. Thank you so much for watching, see you all later, and goodbye.